it. So that started. So we decided to run this session today because we know that there are questions out there about AI and not only how to use it, but really questions about its safety and can I trust it and all of that. So we thought we'd have a conversation about it and talk a little bit about where it's at. What I want to do is preface this by saying that anything we say today about AI is going to change tomorrow, and it's going to change again on Sunday and again on Monday. It's moving that fast. It's moving incredibly rapidly. And, earlier this year we were talking about AI and saying, oh, it'd be good to do this, this, and this in retail. And now, my personal view is if you're not using AI in your business, then you are behind. And you've got big businesses that are using AI to, replace people and do very complex things. At our level in small business retail, there are practical things in retailer today, and there are more things coming. So to get things going before people themselves have to come up with any questions, what I'm going to do is start with a question myself. And my question is going to go to Gavin from the point of view of using retailer. And let's say I'm a retailer customer, and I'm using retailer to, say, import invoices. That sounds too complex to me. How can I trust that it's going to get it right, that it's not going to make mistakes?
Well, you can trust it because you get to visualize and eyeball the data after the AI has looked at it. So you can look at the data, you can eyeball it, you can edit it, you can change it. So if it has made a mistake and has pulled some incorrect data, and you've got the ability to edit that data there and then, so you can edit the stock item it's going to create, you can and just correct that data as it's coming in. So you can trust it because you can trust yourself to correct it.
So you're saying from a human point of view, I've got the ability to convince or confirm to myself that what it's
Correct.
done
Yeah,
is accurate.
absolutely. Yep.
Okay. And uh, so, Min, a question for you, um, similar about trust. Let's say I'm a tower customer and I'm using retailer and I email support a question. Um, And because I'm doing some work at home at night time, it's 10 o'clock. I email support thinking they'll come back to me tomorrow. And literally a couple of seconds later, I get an email back from the AI chatbot that you manage, and it gives me an answer to that question. How can I trust the answer that it's coming back with?
Well, the it's using our knowledge base first
Hmm.
off. And with the emails specifically, it's going through the same chatbot as the website chat. The only limitation is that you can't have a conversation with it. So it just gives you a first level response.
Yep.
And that's just to help give you an immediate response in case that you might have like a simple question or something that it knows about. Um, but it is also reviewed by our team members as well, and they will reply back to you just to confirm whether the chatbot's answer is correct or if they need to make any adjustments.
So you're seeing the queries come in and you're seeing the responses. Do you trust the responses it's giving?
Um, I would say the majority of them, yes, but in regards to that, I do look at the back end as well, so I see more of that compared to the rest of the guys on the support desk.
And would you say you're an AI skeptic or an AI convert? You're part of the cult.
I'm saying it's out of the box, right? The genie. So you gotta keep up with it. Otherwise, it can't be stopped, I would say.
Okay,
I
but
don't
you,
think I am he answered positive that about it.
yeah,
question. I
yeah,
am positive about it, yes.
you're positive. Okay, good, good. So, Gavin, are you confident or not?
Uh, I'm confident in what it can do for uh, retailer and the software and for our users. The wider picture, I'm less confident on. That picture's a little scary, but
Yeah. So it's interesting that it's able to uh, I mean, you said you can't have a conversation in a support email, but if you're using, for example, ChatGPT or Gemini, you can have conversation. So I'm now about 40 or 50 prompts into a discussion I'm having with Gemini about something that I'm looking at from a business point of view. And it goes back to, I started that on Monday this week. And it's really interesting because probably every 10th response I get back is a nonsense response. And I say, you can do better than that. That's inaccurate. And it will say, oh, I'm so sorry. Give me a moment. And it begs forgiveness and goes away and tries to get it right. I think healthy skepticism is reasonable, but there are a lot of tools that we can use. So we said this question is for people who are concerned or nervous or wondering about AI. Who's got a question that we can answer, or at least a topic that we can talk about in relation to that skepticism or concern? Okay, Leanne, if you unmute yourself, we'll be able there we go.
We ran the Gemini business report
Yep.
and thought most of it was nonsense that came back to us.
So when you say you ran a Gemini business report, what did you do?
Oh, goodness me, Mark, I can't remember now. I think it was an exercise you gave us to do.
Oh, so you took your monthly sales comparison report,
Yeah.
loaded that into Gemini and said, what do you think?
Yeah. But we didn't come back to it and say, that's nonsense, you can do better. I didn't realise I could have a cranky mother conversation with it.
Um, so I would go back and do it again. The other thing is, it also can depend on the version you're using. So I'm using a paid version of Gemini that's kind of pretty comprehensive. If you're using a free version, you're not going to get your AI assistance is going to be the poor cousin response.
So can I be cranky with you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll give it a go. I'll let you know.
And by all means, give it some context. So if I was you, I would load the report and say, I want you to look at this and tell me what you think. Just understand we are in a town with a population of 1,100. Give it some context about where you are. Um, say Merriwa, New South Wales. Tell it any concerns you've got about the business. And ask it whether there's more information that it needs to be able to provide you with good advice. So it's kind of, you treat it very human-like in that sense, in terms of information you're giving it and what you're expecting it to give back.
Okay, thank you. On a positive note, we do the loading of the invoices and we find that wonderful. It just saves so much time.
So tell us about that. What you say it saves time.
Well,
Have you got?
saves time because it adds all the new product that we've got, and if we want to correct it at the time we do, you've still got to be there when it's doing it, but it saves a lot of time.
So if you think back, say, to a year earlier, if somebody said to you guys in 2024, hey, in 2025, you're going to be doing this, what would you have thought back then?
No, I wouldn't have thought that I'd be able to learn how to do it, but it's not difficult.
Yeah.
So I think that's the positive side of it. It's quite easy to use.
So I was listening to a podcast a couple of days ago about AI, and they were talking about practical uses. And this American lady who's 82 or 83 was saying how she's responsible for creating PowerPoint content for her local community group. And she was saying how she's completely switched over to using AI to do it now. And she spent 5 minutes talking about how AI is generating these PowerPoint slides and things like that for her. And the host of the podcast, young tech guy, was like just blown away. And the lady was saying, a year ago I wouldn't have even thought about this,
No.
but today it's just a regular part of my life.
Yeah. Well, 35 years ago, I wouldn't have thought about it. When we started our business, when computers weren't the norm, we started before retailer.
Hmm.
So we've learned an incredible lot along the way. So it's all fairy tales, isn't it?
So who else has got a question about AI, a nervousness, a worry that you would like to ask? All right, Min, we're going to go to you. What is your question?
Question or concern about the AI?
Yeah.
From a tower retailer perspective, uh, it's my biggest fear is that it gives the wrong answer to the customer.
Hmm.
And it will do that from time to time. But that's where my job comes in to review all of those logs to reach out to the customer to clarify the question, correct the answer, as well as update our knowledge base articles to build it's like, planting a seed so that it grows up and fixes it and answers it properly the next time. So every time I'm fixing that, I'm planting a little seed.
So you're like training it to be smarter.
Yeah, because it's using our knowledge base. And, a lot of our articles do need updating for that. And we're always making new articles for new features as well. Yeah. One thing I would like to mention in regards to the email queries is if you do email in, it would be nice if you give it more context rather than just a simple question, because you have to kind of treat it like, a personal assistant, or give it context to your question because it's not going to infer things here and there. It's looking for keywords and stuff like that for it to match with the knowledge base. So if you don't give it enough information, it's not going to be able to give you a proper answer.
That context would also be helpful with the team actually answering the question as well. So
Yeah.
So something like uh, um, you, you might have somebody who emails in and says, "My end of shift is wrong. I need to fix it." Uh, or somebody might say, um, you know, "My end of shift numbers don't make sense here, here, and here." Is that what you're talking about, or something more specific than that?
Yeah, because if a customer asks the support team that question, we're going to ask, what's wrong with us to get the customer to elaborate. Um, Whereas if you use the chatbot on the website, it kind of can give you that conversation, whereas with the email, it doesn't really have that chance.
Yep. Okay. And how are you seeing AI deal with kind of a cranky question from somebody?
Um, it it tries to, reason with the customer and use a softer tone, but it does along the way ask if the customer would like to talk to a human
Right.
person instead. And they're more than welcome to click talk to a person, and that will create a ticket onto our knowledge base. And that, help desk.
Support. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And the thing
said,
with that is that it does include the log of their chat. So that gives the team member context of their conversation rather than them, just
yep.
closing out of the conversation and logging a call themselves.
You also said with the support email, it's literally you ask one question, you get an email back, you can't have a conversation. If I'm using the chatbot on the website, I can have a conversation, can't I?
Yeah, you can.
Yep. Okay. All right. Has anybody got any nervousness or questions? So, Shelley, I'm going to come to you because I can see you sitting there. Um,
Yes.
it's fair to say you're probably early on your AI journey.
Yes.
Okay.
Haven't,
And
yeah.
so you'd have some natural skepticism about whether it's going to be useful or not.
No, I don't because I don't know enough to be skeptic. Like, like I'm a realist, but yeah, certainly the benefits because we had a talk with Justin
Hmm.
at the fair about he showed us about the invoicing, and I'm like very excited
Are you
because
typing invoices in manually now?
yes,
Okay.
because
So So
Like, for example, I have one supplier. It probably takes me, because it's such a big invoice, with each release, it takes me about 4 hours.
have you got a PDF of that invoice?
No.
Is
Oh,
so
sorry. Yes. Yes,
if you
I
want to
will.
send that, if you want to send that to us, that gives us an invoice. We can check it,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
can because the more invoices we get to play with, the more we can, I guess, ourselves learn and help it learn to be smarter.
Like, I'm a control freak too. So it's going to be hard for me. I like things, descriptions in a certain way
So you can
or
change them
done
as soon
as,
as it's brought them
yeah.
in. You can just type
Yeah.
over it. If you want it to be a specific way, you can type it in that specific way. Because suppliers name their products badly.
Hmm.
So if you can
Yeah.
type it
Oh,
in,
yeah.
you can make it the right name. You can correct the department to put it in the category. Can adjust the pricing and stuff. But it's still quicker than doing it manually.
Yeah. Another challenge will be a lot of supplier invoices don't include barcodes.
Mhm.
So that is a challenge. That is time consuming because this supplier will send me an Excel spreadsheet with all the stock information. So I'm back and forth cutting and pasting
Yeah.
stock because there's so much of it. We don't have room. I'm not invoicing it out of the boxes. I'm processing it off the paperwork.
So, Gavin, what would you do there where you've got a supplier file with barcodes and you've got the invoice with the product stock code? Is there a way you can marry the two?
There's a couple of different ways you could do it. You could just import the stock file as a stock file before you do the AI import. That way, if the stock codes are on the invoice and you can import the stock file into retailer, the stock codes will match the stock code in your retailer database, and that will match up and link with all the barcodes and so forth. So that will allow that to occur. So yeah, it's probably the way I would do it, just based on your description, I think. So if you are getting a spreadsheet, you can import that spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is there an issue then of importing a whole lot of stock items we don't actually use? Like,
You probably do it now with card files. So
yeah.
So it depends on how big the file is. If it's 400,000 lines, you might think about it. But if you're only looking at a couple of hundred products, it's not going to be a drama.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm certainly excited about that part of the business, especially this time of the year. It's just so much stock coming in and it can consume my whole day manually processing invoices.
Shelley, we had a customer recently say, I think, Gavin, was it about 4 or 5 hours a week they're saving?
Mm-hmm.
That's actually paid labour time that they're saving by importing invoices they previously couldn't import automatically. But what this AI is doing is it's making EDI importing irrelevant.
Yeah.
And we've got, for example, produce businesses and garden centres with really complex invoices that it's handling extremely well. So look, if you want to send us a PDF through, we'd love to play with it.
Yeah. And I suppose I see it it's a way of getting the stock out quicker
Absolutely.
because I can't get it out till it's invoiced. So
Yep.
good.
All right. Leanne, I want to ask you a question. Have you used it at all to generate a blog post for a product you have on your website?
No, no, you know how hungry the internet is. So
Yep.
what it does do is enable us to have time to
Yep.
do the blog, but we use AI to check what we're putting.
So from within Retailer, you can actually have it generate the blog post, which you can then take that content and kind of make it your own as well.
Okay.
And so that initial kind of writer's block to write 300 or 400 words, it can shoot that out in a couple of seconds. You've then got something to work with, and it's just an easy way of getting content there to help your website be found.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, we'll give that a go. So where do we do that from in Retailer?
Gavin is going to either tell you or show you.
Thank you, Gary.
That's all right. Okay, everyone see that?
Yep.
Cool. Just move that out of the way. So just from the stock maintenance menu, you go to stock item blog posts.
Mhm.
And
So you look for a
yes.
barcode there.
Yeah, that's one I've already done. So I'm going to create a new one.
So you choose an item.
Yep. And then click on generate blog post.
And so this time that it takes here is a function of
Hmm.
the AI.
Yep. And that's created the blog post there. And all I need to do then is click on upload and it'll upload it to your blog on your Shopify
So,
website.
so while that's there on the screen, I would comment and say that middle line where it says why the big click medium black pen is a must-have. To personalize that, I would uncapitalize. I'd leave big capitalized, but MED would be lowercase m, black would be lowercase b, pen would be lowercase p. There's certainly things that I would do to tidy it up. Um, uh, I would then just go through and, you know, early on I'd remove g'day at the start, at the opening.
Well, that one is because I've changed the prompt up here to create a
Right.
funny and whimsical blog post. So
Oh
you can
my
edit
God.
how you want your voice to be. So if you wanted to, I can
I'd say
create
make it
a.
professional. Yeah.
It'll work it out. Just click on generate again, and that will use that prompt now to create a new blog post.
Yep. So Leanne, this is all doing this within retailer.
Right.
Mm.
That's
So
good.
there we go. So
That's
what that's got, see that first paragraph is now reading better than
Yeah.
what Gavin had originally.
Yeah.
And you can edit that as much as you like, and you can find your particular voice. You might have a particular tone you want to convey in your post, so you can do it through there. So
Yeah. Thanks, Gavin. That's good.
All right. So let's go back and see if anybody has any questions. Oh, Gavin's going to show importing an invoice while he's here, aren't you?
I am. Yep.
Okay, so you've selected a PDF, which
So I've
is
just selected this is a Henderson file. So just click on analyze, and that's going to send that across to the AI and analyze it, and it's going to extract the data.
so you don't have to tell it what sort of products it is or anything like that.
No, it's going to do all that.
Yep.
Gavin, when we import our Henderson, it's an EDI file, so that comes in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
often there's a lot of barcodes that don't come.
Right.
Mm.
So we actually spend time trying to find out which card's not going to scan before we put them on the shelf.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this might be a way of using this rather than the EDI file potentially. So
Right.
There we go.
so it's imported those. So anything that's not red, it's automatically matched up.
Right.
And anything that's red, it hasn't matched up. So anything that's in there, it knows exactly what it is already. Anything that's not red, you need to do something with. These ones at the top here, they're all blank items and zeros, so don't actually need those. So I can just delete those from the invoice because they're header cards and so forth and shelf talkers, which obviously you don't need to import. So I can get rid of those. So that one there, that's English beer. If I just want to add that item, I can just click on add stock item. I can give it a department. Now you can also set by supplier what the default department and categories are for particular items if you wanted to. And you can set those as well. You can click on add, that'll add the stock item into the database, and now that one's gone grey. I don't do anything with that. If I wanted to edit anything about it, I can click on edit here. I can change all the information about the stock item as I'm going through. So I can change the description, department, category, change the tax group if I wanted to. I can make it a web store item immediately. The other if any of the data is incorrect, if you've noticed if your totals haven't matched up or something like that, you can just simply type over the price. So you can type over the unit price, or you can type over the total, and it'll back calculate the unit price as well. So you can just type those prices in. Those little arrows there are indicating that the price has increased since the last time it was arrived, based on the markups and so forth. So you can do that once you've happy with it. So I'm just going to add these ones in.
So how else, besides what you're doing here, what else am I doing to check to see that I'm happy with it?
You can check the totals at the bottom of the invoice. For some reason, mine's not showing there, but I've got a beta version, so maybe a issue with that. But yeah, so check the totals here. Usually, if the totals match up, it's probably just not fitting on my screen. But yeah, if the totals match up, that's going to match the invoice completely then. Okay. So that's the first thing to check.
Cool.
So Gavin, when I do it this way, I have trouble getting it to automatically show on the web page. So is that because I'm not defaulting it right, or I'm not?
It won't show up on your website straight away.
Right.
Yeah, so just make sure when you click on edit that if it's a new item that you tick that web store item there.
Right. So, right. Okay.
So you can click on add and just make sure the web store item's ticked.
Yeah. So there's no way to default that it goes automatically to the web.
No, not with web store. That's got to be done manually to make sure that you're happy with it. What we try to avoid with the web stuff is you accidentally uploading a whole heap of stuff you don't want on the website. So it is a manual process to tick the web store stuff to make sure that you're happy with the content of the item. So
okay, thank you for that.
I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Whenever I do process invoices, we always calculate the freight cost into the individual item cost.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if we do that.
So what you can do after you've completed this process is then go into the freight section of retailer and reapply that freight into the component into the invoice. So think of this as like a pre-working page. Once you've got done all this pre-work, it'll arrive the invoice like it would normally, and then you can apply your freight from that point after it's been arrived.
So, sorry, I don't know about that. How does that work? Like, does it allocate the freight per cost of each item? Like,
yeah, there's a facility in the software that will specifically allocate freight across the invoice. Are you not doing that now? Are you calculating that manually?
No, I do it the hard way. Seriously, I'm a control freak. I need to make sure it's right.
Really, I'm not
okay.
Either. I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, you can. It's
My
used a lot, particularly by our
calculation.
Garden Centre and customers and so forth. They do it quite a lot. So they have obviously huge freight invoices with the stuff that they do. So you certainly can allocate freight across a specific invoice.
Gavin, is that a setting that you have to tell it to do that for you?
Against the invoice, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right. If you might want to take us there and show us where you've set that.
Just going to save that to the arrivals now.
Yep. Good.
Okay, so just going to cancel that and we can don't import. Okay. So in here you've got the freight button. So if you click that freight button after it arrives, I didn't stop it. So yeah, once you've clicked on the freight button there, once you've got an invoice there with freight, you can then apply that freight price across it. So if you type in what the price is of the freight, you can go calculate freight, and that will recalculate the cost prices and recalculate the what we call the sell prices as well based on that freight charge.
Goodness, I'll
Okay,
be
so
on lunches soon.
it increases the retail price is based on the freight.
Increases
Yep. So
the
it'll
cost and
increase
the
your cost
retail.
prices, and it'll increase the retail as well based on the markup for if you need it to.
Yeah.
So Shelley,
Okay.
you're doing this calculation manually,
Yes.
and you're spreading freight
Because
across everything that's in an invoice that's come in,
yes.
which is exactly what it's doing here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it
All right.
apportions it based on value of the invoice. So not on weight or anything like that. So it's just
No.
apportioning it based on value.
Yeah, I have a formula that Mark gave me that I use. So,
This should achieve the
okay.
same result.
Yes.
Yeah.
And make it a bit easier.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
I'm sure if you give Min a call the next time you're doing it, he can help you through it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Gavin, if you stop sharing your screen, who else has questions about AI? All right. So I have another question for Min. Um, so you said that you are looking at questions people are asking, you're looking at the responses it's giving, and you're then going back where appropriate and modifying the knowledge base content because the knowledge base content is what's training the AI.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say that in the knowledge base content, you're kind of crafting content specifically for AI consumption.
Yes. We're working on that, and the goal is to be able to include more support related questions into the knowledge base as well to help it better answer those that the customers ask. Yeah.
And isn't it true that kind of as humans, when we talk, the words we use can vary when we're talking about the same thing. And with AI, it's more helpful if we're more structured in the information we give it.
Yeah. I can briefly show you kind of the back end of how I look at things if you want.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just give me a second.
It just would help people, I think, build confidence in those back end processes. While Min's setting that up, what I would say is it's interesting seeing people emailing support, Gavin, isn't it, after hours, and then getting a response back. And we've got some customers who are pretty heavy duty users of the software who say that they haven't spoken to support now for weeks because of this and because of how it's coming back.
Yeah, so I'll share the screen now.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Here we go.
Right. So this is the back end of Intercom, which runs our chatbot. There's a bunch of conversations, but I'm just picking an example here, which is Tim. He asks some test questions here and there. Most likely he's doing a demo or something, and it shows the potential customers our AI chatbot as well. So it asks us a question, and I can see I've enabled some logging to show it the events to see, what guidance it uses in case I need to update them or I need to put one in to help the bot better understand the customer's question. Because sometimes, they might ask a vague question or a simple question, which, if it's a simple one, it's easy enough for the bot to be able to connect the dots, right? So it's just asking about, how to change the touchscreen button. It gives the answer for that. I do notice that when I'm reviewing this, I can see like it uses a term here. Oh, well, I put a guidance into bold text, and that just makes it so that the uh, customer can kind of follow the instructions a bit more easier visually. But I do notice that there's like a gear wheel icon and then another word down here for gear icon. So the terminology it's using does change a bit there. And I kind of want to understand why it's doing that.
Mhm.
So I would then, click on the sources that it's using to try and see or work out why that's happening. So if I just go into the KB article, the first one just uses gear wheel as its text, whereas if I go to the second one, is using gear symbol, gear icon, gear icon. So that's where different support members write all of the articles, right? So our terminology can be different between articles, and we want to try and keep it consistent, especially for the chatbot, so that when it gives the answer, it's using the same wording across its answer.
Mm.
So then I would go into the back end of our KB to update the article to keep it consistent.
Yep.
Yeah, and if it's given the wrong answer, I would click on improve answers to see how the bot might have interpreted the question. If it was a really long-winded question, it might change how it thinks that.
Yep.
Yeah, and it gives, what links it found that were relevant. And if it's not a strong enough connection, I would kind of, if I knew there was a correct article on it, I would, update the article to try and make it link better in the future.
Yep.
Yeah, so Tim's asked a follow-up question because he's asking, is there a video? And it's linking to a few related videos in regard to the touchscreen, like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it on the back end. And, if it gives the wrong question, I would follow up with the customer with a ticket and send them an email reply just to let them know.
So all of that goes to reinforce that from a support point of view, people should be confident at the answers it's getting. And Min, it's drawing its knowledge solely from the information we provide it. So the opportunity for hallucination is limited.
Yeah, there's that. But it also has, I would say, general knowledge overall. If you're having a computer issue or a network issue, it can give you basic advice on that
Yep.
information and
Okay.
all of that. So it does carry general knowledge, I would say.
Right.
One thing to mention there is that, what was it? Yeah, if you're having a conversation online and you're unsure of the answer, you're more than welcome to say, that's not the right answer. And then it will ask you, would you like to connect to a team member? You're more than welcome to click yes, and it will automatically make a ticket to the help desk for you. So there is no, um, if you're unsure, you're more welcome to do that because then the support team member will just say, hey, that's the correct answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, if you stop sharing your screen, I have a question for Gavin, which is going to be the million-dollar question. Gavin, so I'm a retailer. I'm using the AI tools within the software. I'm nervous about my business performance data getting out into the world because of that. So yeah, that's a question.
Is it? Um, Look, there are, particularly with Gemini and with ChatGPT, there are options you can select to ensure that any conversations you have with it are kept to your account only and aren't
Mhm.
used for training purposes. So that will stop any of that proprietary data that you may have getting out um, into the wider training of the database. Not that I've seen any personal data be available through the training, but if that is a concern for you, then a paid account and selecting the option to not be included in training is the way to go.
So picking up on what you've just said there, I actually flip that and I'm using, for example, Gemini and asking it questions so that it learns. So I'll ask about point of sale software for garden centres. And if it doesn't give me a response that talks about tower, I'm going to say, hey, you've forgotten about this software company. And it says, oh, thank you for letting me know. And then I say, well, you should know this as well. And so I'm kind of using that sort of openness to help educate it
Yeah,
beyond.
I don't know whether that conversation goes into the wider thing because it certainly is context aware to your conversations with it and will refer to previous conversations you've had with it to provide you with responses that you may like.
So I'm
So
using a browser that I use only for that purpose, and a
yeah, but if you're
browser.
logging in, it's linked.
No.
No. Okay.
The version of Gemini I'm using is the free version, so there's no
Yeah.
login, and I'm clearing the cache of that browser. So
Yeah.
hopefully it's seeing me as just a person on the street sharing.
Maybe I don't know. The trading models are a bit of a black box, so not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. All right. Any other questions people have in relation to AI at all? Okay. We're going to leave it there. Thank you very much. We're going to share this video with customers today. So thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.